Hello and welcome. Today let's talk about gratuity. We'll understand what is its definition, whom is it payable, when would it be paid, and what is the tax treatment when you receive gratuity from your employer. That is, whether such gratuity is taxable or not. Gratuity received by employees would generally be exempt from tax except in some situations when it would be taxable. We'll understand this in detail in the later part of the video. Let's now start with the definition. Gratuity is a retirement benefit which is paid by the employer in recognition of services of an employee to the organization. Or we can say that by paying gratuity, the employer thanks the employee for rendering continuous service to the organization, but payment of gratuity has now become a legal obligation for the employer. From the income tax perspective, we can categorize employees into three heads. First, government employees, then employees covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act. Third would be other employees. First, let us see what would be the tax treatment of gratuity received by government employees. Government employees here are employees of central or state government, employees of local authority like municipal corporation, say BBMP in Bangalore, BMC in Mumbai, or employees of Gram Panchayat, etc. Professor or teacher of a university established under the Act of Parliament or state legislature. That is, professor or teacher of a university established by the central or state government. For all these employees, whatever gratuity is received at the time of retirement or in case of resignation or upon death of the employee is fully exempt from tax. In other words, gratuity received by these government employees would not be taxable. Next category would be employees covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act. First, let us see who are covered. Employees of an organization having 10 or more employees, any factory, mine, oil field, plantation, port or railway company, or any other organization specified by the government to be covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act. So we can say that employees of organizations like MNCs, private limited companies, MSMEs having 10 or more employees are covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act. When would the gratuity be payable if you are covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act? It is payable on termination of employment after a continuous service of 5 years or more. And this termination can be on retirement or resignation, or it can be due to death or disablement due to accident or disease. In case of death or disablement, this 5-year limit of continuous service would not be applicable. In other words, in case of death or disablement, even if the employee has not rendered a continuous service of 5 years, gratuity would still be payable. Let's now see the tax treatment of gratuity received from the employer. Least of the following is exempt. First, 15 days salary for every completed year of service, or maximum limit of 20 lakh, or actual gratuity received. So least of these three would be exempt. For seasonal establishments, it would be 7 days instead of 15 days because seasonal establishments don't function throughout the year. Basic salary here is last drawn salary, and that is basic salary plus DNS allowance if you get any. 15 days salary would be computed on the basis of your last drawn salary as multiplied by 15 and divided by 26. That is because 26 is the number of working days considered for the purpose of computation of gratuity. Part of the year of service in excess of 6 months would be considered as 1 year. For example, if you have worked for 5 years, 7 months, then it would be considered as 6 years. To understand this better, let's consider a scenario. Let's say you were employed in a private limited company covered by the Gratuity Act. Your date of joining was 1st September 2016 and you left the organization on 31st March 2022. So years of service would be 5 years, 7 months. Let's assume your last drawn salary was 50,000 per month, and let's also say the gratuity received by you is 2 lakh. Here 15 days salary would be 50,000 as multiplied by 15 and divided by 26, and this would be multiplied by number of years of service. Years of service here is 5 years 7 months, which would be rounded off to 6 years. So gratuity computed on this basis would be 1.73 lakh. Actual amount received is 2 lakh and maximum limit here is 20 lakh. So least of the three would be exempt, that is 1.73 lakh, and the difference, that is 26,000 and odd, would be taxable. Now the last category, that is when you are neither a government employee nor an employee covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act. We'll call this category as other employees. So who are covered here? All other employees, that is, say you are an employee in an organization having less than 10 employees, then such employees are covered here. When is gratuity payable? On termination of employment, on retirement or resignation, death or disablement due to accident or disease. But here 5-year continuous service limit is not applicable. Let's now see the tax treatment. Least of the following is exempt. First, half month salary for each completed year of service, or maximum limit of 20 lakh, or actual gratuity received. Salary here too means your last drawn salary, that is basic plus DA. Salary here is the average salary for last 10 months. Part of the year of service is not considered here. Maximum limit, that is 20 lakh, is the aggregate limit for gratuity from one or more employers. Let's now consider another scenario. Let's say you were employed in an organization which is not covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act. Your date of joining, date of leaving, number of years of service would remain the same. Let's assume your average salary to be 50,000 per month and gratuity received is 2 lakh. Half month salary, that is 50% of 50,000 multiplied by number of years of service. Here fraction of the year is ignored, so number of years of completed service would be 5. So on this basis, gratuity that would be computed is 1.25 lakh. Actual amount received is 2 lakh. Maximum limit is 20 lakh. Let's assume this is the first employment. So amount exempt would be least of these three, that is 1.25 lakh. So amount taxable would be 75,000. Let's now summarize what we have understood so far. For government employees, gratuity received by the employee is fully exempt. For employees covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act, least of the following is exempt. First, 15 days salary for every completed year of service, maximum limit of 20 lakh, or actual amount received. For other employees, least of these would be exempt, that is half month salary for each completed year of service, maximum limit of 20 lakh, or actual amount received. Salary for both the purposes here would be basic salary plus DA. For employees covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act, gratuity would be computed on the basis of last drawn salary as multiplied by 15 and divided by 26. This would be multiplied by number of years of service. For other employees, this would be half of 10-month average salary as multiplied by number of years of service. For employees covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act, fraction of the year more than 6 months would be considered as 1 year. For other employees, this would be ignored. For employees covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act, maximum limit of 20 lakh would be separate for each employer, but this would be aggregate limit for all the employees in respect of other employees. That's all I have for you in this video. Hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this episode, you may like and share the video. Thank you for watching.